Have you noticed how some people freeze the moment their phone rings? Isn't it wild how something as small as a ringtone sends their hearts racing? And even if it's their loved ones calling, they would rather let it ring out and text them back later. But here's the question. Why? Most people assume they are being rude, distant, or antisocial. But what if I told you that there's something much deeper happening in their psychology? Something that most people never realize. Stick with me till the end, because what you are about to discover might just explain your own attitude towards phone calls. 1. The need for control. A phone call feels like someone walking into your room without knocking. Texting, on the other hand, knocks first. So with texts, you have a choice. You decide when to reply, maybe after finishing your coffee, wrapping up a lecture, or walking home with music in your ears. You can pause mid-conversation to think, or step away and return when your mind feels clear again. But calls remove that control. They demand attention, now. It doesn't matter if you're halfway through an assignment, in the middle of cooking, or just not in the headspace to talk. The moment the phone rings, it's like someone barging into your mental space uninvited. And for some people, that sudden intrusion feels invasive. 2. The reflective mind. Imagine this. A friend texts you something emotional. You pause, reread it twice, type, delete, type again. Not because you don't care, but because you want to say it right. That small pause is what phone calls don't give you. So people who dislike phone calls aren't avoiding conversation. They just need a moment to process before they speak. But a phone call doesn't give you that moment. It demands presence instantly. You have seconds to listen, process, and respond, all at once. On a call, you're reacting. In a text, you're responding. And for reflective minds, that difference isn't small. It's everything. 3. The shift in how they connect. There was a time when calling meant intimacy. Now it means urgency. We've trained ourselves to see a ringing phone not as a friend, but as a demand. A text, though? That feels like an invitation. Our culture has shifted from instant connection to controlled connection. We don't talk less because we care less. It's because we just talk differently now. The people who prefer texting aren't broken. They're just fluent in the new language of communication, where silence, timing, and intentional speak louder than words ever did on a call. 4. Feeling guilty for being misunderstood. People who prefer texting over calls often carry a quiet kind of guilt. They know their silence can be mistaken for distance. Friends might think they're ignoring them, or that they don't care enough to pick up. But that's not the truth. They care, deeply. They just need space before responding. Time to gather thoughts, to recharge, to show up with intention instead of impulse. Still, they often feel torn between protecting their own energy and meeting other people's expectations. So they overthink messages, apologize for delayed replies, or push themselves to answer even when it drains them. But the reality is, they're not avoiding people. They're just trying to stay whole while staying connected. 5. They equate silence with peace, not distance. People who hate phone calls don't crave constant connection. They crave calm. Their silence isn't a gap between conversations. It's a break their mind genuinely needs. They'd rather sit in a softly lit room, maybe music humming in the background, hands wrapped around a warm cup, knowing they don't owe anyone a performance. They're the kind of people who can sit next to someone they care about and say nothing, and still feel completely connected. So when they don't pick up right away, it's not avoidance. It's their way of finding balance again. And if you love understanding human behavior and the quiet psychology behind everyday habits, please hit like and subscribe for more videos like this.